Hey everyone, continuing with our transformations, we'll be looking at a new transformation, the reflection. And again, for reflection, there are two types of reflections and they are each about the axis. And I'll look at the reflection about the y-axis first, which will give us the equation, or the equation that causes that reflection would be gy equals to h minus x. Now, why is that so? Okay, so let's just say we draw a graph first. Let's say I'm going to start with a very basic graph of a linear line. It's because this is a sufficient example. Alright, so what happens is this. Let's say we have the point here. Alright, maybe not 1, 3 anymore. Let's say we have 3, 2. Alright, so clearly this is y equals to x minus 1 graph. Alright, and what happens is that now we have our input as x, right? So x was equals to 3, which means now our input is now minus x. So minus x equals to 3, y is still 2, x is now minus 3. So as you can see, it's a directly horizontal across to this point here, minus 3, 2. Right? And if you notice that if you keep doing it for every point, it's going to get this to here. And then from this point, it's going to come to this side, right? Because if you notice, every original x coordinate would have a negative input. So you're jumping from either from the negative side to the positive side, or the positive side to the negative side, which means one thing, really, you're reflecting about the y-axis. Your y-coordinate remains the same, but your x-coordinate just becomes from positive to negative or from negative to positive. As such, it's a flip or reflection about the y-axis. Hence, your graph would look like this. Alright, so we're gonna have something like this. Let me just try to sketch it properly. So we have I'm gonna ignore the points down there because I think it's not accurate. Something like this. Then from here will be from here. Alright, so let me try to connect this nicely. Alright, something like this, alright, but basically they reflect about the y-axis. Okay, another way to look at it is basically whatever output that you get from, let's say we look at the original graph, right? So let's say your output for x is positive, x is negative, is some, let's say, set A or set B. You notice that in minus x, you get set B and set A, right? Because in minus x, for when x is positive, you get negative. When x is negative, you get minus minus, right? So you get positive, and you notice that basically whatever values you had for the positive side becomes the negative side. Whatever values you had for the negative side would be the positive side. Therefore, a flip about the y-axis. As such, the official transformation is simply reflection, I'm going to bracket the ION, about the y-axis. And this would be the transformation, basically gy equals to hx becoming gy equals to h minus x. And the same logic is applied to our reflection about the x-axis, basically g minus y equals to hx, and I'll cover that in the next video.